Hello. So at this stage, we are going to try and clean our data and then transform our data also. So data transformation involves modifying the structure or the format of the data to suit the analysis needs. And the data cleaning is the process of identifying and rectifying errors, inconsistencies, or missing values in the dataset. So first off, we open our data sales for Adidas. I think I have it right here. And the first thing we do is to add a clean step. And what this does is that it gives us the list of the columns of our data set. So now we have to, as you can see, we can see F6, F7, F8, F9, F10, F11, and so on. And with these names, we can't really understand what data it entails. So based off the Excel sheet, I know a bit of them. So what we'll do first is change the data field names. So with this, down here it says retailer. So I'm just going to change this to retailers. So they're saved. And with this we can see years. So we can change this format and save it as date. This here is obviously the region. So region. Here we have cities. No, I'm sorry. Here we have states. We have cities here. We can name this, think products. Yeah, men's apparel. So we name it products. This next one right here is the price per unit. So we rename it price per unit. Next up, we have the units sold. Next we have the total sales. So the total sales is the price per unit times the unit sales, the unit sold. So we have the total sales here. The next is the operating profit. And we have the margin of the operating profit. Margin. No, let's just do it operating margin. Sorry. Operating margin. Next up we have the sales method. As we can see, we have in-store, online, outlet. So sales method. And as we can see, sales method doesn't align with these three. So all we'll do here is we'll exclude this, and then it takes it out. So now what we are going to do next is change. So the states, we have to change the string from none and then make it states. Yeah. Now with the cities, we also change and then save it as city. Yeah. I think with this data set, a lot hasn't been changed. So we can progress to the next step. So this just entails we've been able to transform the data. That's renaming the fields and then clean the data, removing things like the sales method, which was in the sales method table or column. So we took that out. So that's like a cleaning process. And I think initially there was products here. We took that out also. So now the next step is to create an output. So here we can browse and then choose where to save it. So we can just name it Adidas data set cleaned, something like that. Then we save. And also we can rename this section, and we can just say clean data sales something. Yeah, then we can save. So that's it for the data cleaning and transformation. So next we are going to open this document in Tableau and then find out what we want to analyze, create graphs, charts to describe our data, and then we'll create the dashboards, and then the storytelling aspect will follow. Thank you. Hi there. Today I'll be exploring Adidas sales data, specifically in the United States, across different regions and products categories. I'll uncover valuable insights into how Adidas performed in various areas and the product types. Additionally, I'll discuss the impact of significant effects, including how the COVID-19 pandemic might have affected and influenced sales trends in different parts of the country. So initially I cleaned the data, transformed the data, and I got the data from Cargo, so I'll put a link in the video. After cleaning, I created my charts, my various charts, in regards to the analysis I was doing. After I created my dashboards, here I have the dashboards, various dashboards. So now I'll just go straight into the storytelling and describe my data to you. So we know Adidas is a global sportswear brand which closely monitors its sales and units across retailers to help them understand the market trend and then consumer behavior. So the purpose of this analysis is to provide valuable insights into Adidas's market performance during the challenging years of 2020 and 2021. notably the impact of COVID-19. So with my first story, it says analyzing Adidas market and performance and also the profits. So as we can see, during the COVID in 2020, a lot of things were not moving as before. Sales were down generally everywhere, and that was the same for Adidas too. So as we can see from our chart, you can see that in 2020 all the figures are lower than what we have in 2021. For example, for the units sold for Foot Locker in 2020 we had 120,000, but then the following year 2021 it jumped to 484,000 units sold. And when we come to the sales also, we can see, for example, Foot Locker in 2020 sold 42 million, and then the following year sold 4 times the amount. That's about 177 million sales. So we can see that the COVID really affected sales within Adidas. But then we can see that from Walmart the difference wasn't that much, because the units sold was 99,000 in 2020 and in 2021 was 106,000. So the difference we can see here wasn't much, so they weren't really affected. And we can see here also with their sales, it rose from 32 million to 41 million, just about 8 million difference. So with all this, with 2020 and 2021, with a significant increase, there'll definitely be an increase in profits. So in the next slide, we see the profits by retailers. So first off, we have Foot Locker. So we have Amazon here, but Amazon I didn't gather data from 2020, so I just picked 2021, and they made 28 million profit. And with Foot Locker in 2020, the operating profit was 15.6 million, and it rose to a whopping 65 million. That's a significant increase. Also with Cole, it rose from 303,000 to 36 million. So from the thousands to millions. That's also a great increase. From Sports Direct, it also increased from 5.7 million to 68.5 million. That's also about 13 times increase. And then we can see Walmart, per the sales and the units sold, we can see that their increase wasn't so much. And then with Westgear, they also moved from 29 million to 56 million. So we can see that with the impact of COVID in 2020, sales and then units sold were down, but then in 2020, when the market recovered, prices, Adidas were able to sell their goods and then made a significant amount of profit. So the next thing I'll discuss is a condensed comparative analysis. Women's apparel and footwear sales across regions, 2020 versus 2021. So in 2020, generally, the regions we have Midwest, Northeast, South, Southeast, and then West down here. So we can see that in 2020, the women's apparel, the highest sales was 14 million. That was at the West region of the US. With the women's athletic footwear, the highest sales was also in the West, 10 million. With the women's street footwear, the highest sales was also in the West, that was 12.2 million. So generally in 2020 the West made more sales than the other sections of the region. Now we'll go to 2021 and compare. So in 2021 we can see that there's a significant increase in numbers as compared to 2020. Like for instance, when we come to the Midwest, when we come back to 2020, Midwest has 1.4 million sales, but in 2021 they have 29 million sales. That's over 20 times an increase. For the Northeast, 8 million in 2020, and then 29 million in 2021. So we can see that there was a lot of increase in sales from 2020 and 2021 for the women's apparel. Same for the women's athletic footwear. So we had 602,000 in the West for sales, and then to 12 million. That's another huge increase. So we can see that across all these products, comparing 2020 and 2021, there was a significant increase in the sales. So with this data, when I click, let's say women's apparel, it will just give me the data for women's apparel. So Midwest, Northeast, South, Southeast, and then West. So when we look at this data and we come to 2021 and then compare, we can see the difference in figures between the two. So now we'll go to the men and also compare their prices, like their sales difference. So with the men in 2020, men's apparel had 742,000 sales, 3 million for South, 6 million for Northeast, and then 9 million for the West. And then with the men's section as well, the West sells more, they make more sales than the other regions for the men also. So let's compare it to 2021. In 2021, with the men, yep, the difference is also huge. And the West again sells, no, we can see that here the Northeast rose from 8.4 million in 2020 to a whopping 42 million in 2021, which means they were really hit bad by the COVID, and Adidas really recovered remarkably because they beat the West this time around. And that's for the men's street footwear. So let's click on the men's street footwear so we can see them here. Yeah, so we can see the West sold 15 and then Northeast 8 million as compared to 42 and then 39. Yeah. So with this chart, I decided to use the circles on the left and then the line chart, but I decided to represent the men with the men symbol, and then with regards to the women, I put the women to make it easier to tell, and I added a bit of pink for the ladies as well. So the next thing we'll talk about is the sales method used by Adidas. So here we have a simple pie chart of 2020 and then 2021 with the descriptions on the left. So in 2020, obviously the in-store made more sales, 93 million sales, The outlets made 83 million sales, and then online was around 4.5 million, as compared to 2021, where the in-store moved from 93 million to 262 million, and then the outlet moved from 83 to 211 million. But then look out for this, the online this was a crazy increment from 4 million to 243 million. That's a huge increase from 4 million to 243 million. So this would definitely benefit Adidas, and I'm sure in the coming years it will continue increasing. So the next thing I'll discuss is the sales performance across US states in 2020 and 2021. So as we can see on the left, the lowest sales by a state was 948,000 and the highest sales was 39 million. So as we can see from the map, New York had 39 million, they had the highest, and then Pennsylvania, Philadelphia had the lowest of 948,000. Miami also had 31 million. Texas had 25 million. Colorado had 20 million. Nevada had 20 million. Yeah, and if I want to check the individual products, I can check, let's say, women's apparel. Then when I click, I see the total sales for Pennsylvania is 216,000. For New York, 7 million. For Florida, 6 million. So now we'll go to 2021 and compare. So in 2021, the least sales was 5 million. That's a jump from 900,000. And then the most sales reduced from 39 million to 29 million. But then in total, we had more states joining in, thereby increasing the sales. So in 2021, South Carolina, Charleston had the most sales. Miami, Florida also had 27 million. And then I think New York dropped from 39 to 24 million. Yeah. And other countries, other states like California had 25 million, which was also very good. Texas had 20 million. New Mexico 19 million. So like the same, I can see men's street footwear, and then it will narrow it down. So Florida has 5 million, New Mexico 3 million, Maryland 2.7 million. And that's about it for the sales performance across US states in 2020 and 2021. So the final thing I'll discuss is the Adidas sales insights by region using the box plot. So the box plot reveals a clear winner. That's the Northwest region with a whopping 2.5 million in sales. And then moving towards the middle, we have the West with 2.1 million, Midwest 2 million, the South with 1.7 million, and then the Southeast region with 1.2 million. So this box plot shows a clear hierarchy of Adidas' sales across US's regions. It demonstrates that the strongholds are the Northeast, followed by Midwest, South, Southeast, and then that's about it. Through this comprehensive data analysis and visualization, it's evident that Adidas, as a global sportswear brand, has demonstrated resilience and market strength across diverse regions despite challenging circumstances such as the COVID-19 pandemic. They were able to bounce back and increase their profits by large margins, and it shows their adaptability and how they appeal to a wide range of consumers.